Alright, it's Reynor time, guys. Good luck today, mate. Let's do it. Alright, I will settle that prediction as soon as the delay has caught up and you guys have closure. I obviously don't want to spoil it by settling that prediction now. Yep, that was the first series, not of the day, because we already had an Asian qualifier. But it was the first series that I watched of the European qualifier. Azura has higher peaks, but Alex is more consistent. Yeah, I'd still give it to Azura a little bit. Like it's close, but I would still give that head-to-head to Azura. But obviously, it's very close. Could be Alex too. It doesn't matter. I just didn't want to be biased because I'm good friends with Alex. But I like Azura too. It doesn't matter. There are two good Italian Protosses. Unfortunately, this one did not work out for Azura. The other Italian Protoss is about to play Serral, and that is very exciting for him. I'm sure we'll hear all about it. But our focus is going to be on this one. European EWC Open Qualifier number 1. Let's do it.
Let's get it on.
In the top right side, we are looking at the main base of the man who is playing under PSZ, who is a Hungarian StarCraft 2 player, but apparently it is not PSZ and it is Nihed. And to make it even more confusing, Nihed often led us under Dr. Suleiman Al-Habib, and he's actually a Terran player, but now he's playing Protoss. Are you guys still following? Probably not, neither am I. Doesn't matter. This is Nihed. In the bottom left side, the man who said he was tilted entering this qualifier because apparently his keyboard broke. Fresh off a DreamHack Dallas, a top 8 finish there. Did get a 3-0 victory over Hero, and that was amazing. Unfortunately, in the quarterfinals, it fell short against Solar. He's back, now with a different keyboard. It is BASILISK Reynor. It's even worse than that bully with him playing 2 races and then also laddering under Dr. Suleiman Al-Habib. It's like, come on. Like, you cannot actually expect all of us to follow anything you're up to at any given moment. But it doesn't matter. I'm going to settle the prediction, give you guys a new prediction. This was a close prediction, actually. Honestly, I would have favored Azura quite a bit, but kudos to Ziga. Congratulations to the man from Sweden. Reynor versus Nihed, the best of 3 handicap. Reynor 2-0 Ita Z. Nihed 1+ map Hung T/P. I'll give you guys 5 minutes. That should be more than enough. The Italian Stallion, that's damn right. There's a couple of them out there, but this is the original, the one and only. Question for the chat: do you need to have the Russian flag instead of the neutral flag if you want to compete in the Championship of Russia? I don't think there is an official Championship of Russia at the moment. I know in the past they've had a lot of like events happening in Moscow or St. Petersburg that were often very stacked, because there was a time that the Russian StarCraft 2 scene was legitimately very strong. But a few of the players have gone inactive, or they're just not playing that much anymore. I don't know how much of it is left over, and I don't know if those events are still happening, so I couldn't answer that question. I think it would probably depend on who's organizing it. But it would help if you list a specific event, and then we could probably figure it out together. I don't think there is a universal answer to that question. Reynor will dominate. I do expect Reynor to dominate this series. But if Reynor wins this series, there's a chance he plays against Young Yakov. And Young Yakov is an incredibly strong Russian Zerg. And that is not going to be a walk in the park. So Nihed, our purple Protoss, played the Terran for a very, very long time. I think he had some injuries, and because he had a few injuries, maybe he started playing Protoss. Terran is so intense, requires a lot of micro and clicking. And Protoss, honestly, a blind man could probably play it. And that is why he has gone Protoss. If his hands hurt and his shoulders hurt, you can always just build a couple oracles, fly them in, zap down some drones and queens, and probably get a dub. No, he was never a Zerg, Eon Blue. Don't make it any more confusing than it already is, Eon Blue. What the fuck? Good luck, Zigga. You played a really strong series, mate. Enjoy your games against Showtime. Reynor made a decent amount of Zerglings here. Got 14 Speedlings. 14 Lings are gonna get on top of the third. Oracle moved away for a split second, but turns around, activates Pulsar Beam. Seems like we have used energy recharge on this Oracle as well to keep it safe. I don't think there are any rules for players to pick specific colors in this qualifier. That will probably be the case for the closed qualifier over the weekend, but that won't be happening in the open qualifier. Look at Nihed. Activating Pulsar Beam, zapping down a drone. I know there's been some in the past, but I don't know. Seems like a vague question. It should start at the 21st of June. So that is right after the global qualifiers, but right before Home Story Cup. Well, I wish them good luck. I don't know. I don't know how the rules are around that. I don't know who's in charge. It would make a lot more sense to maybe ask somebody who's actually living there and is aware of it. If it's sponsored by the government, you're probably gonna have to rock the official flag. I think it's government sponsored, so yeah, whatever. Reynor waiting for Pulsar Beam. Nihed goes for it eventually. Reynor says merci. Runs the Zerglings away. Playing it very safe. Maybe not totally certain what he's going up against. It's a double robo follow-up coming out of Nihed. I'd say that is good, but the problem with double robo, especially if it's like in your natural, is there's always going to be that awkward moment of where are they? Can they leave the natural? Do you have a unit on hold position? All that stuff. Reynor is very paranoid, and he's even getting a temporary spine crawler. Now there are a bunch of zealots with speed running to the other side of the map. +1 is almost done. I think with this amount of roaches, we should be more than capable of dealing with this. We can honestly cancel the spine. We can let it finish up as well, and then maybe put it here. And that's gonna help us when we move out, and we have to worry about zealots backstabbing us and showing up when we don't want them to show up. But that was definitely a lot of seeding. It took them 38 minutes to get this bracket going. So I assume they seeded the ever-living crap out of this bracket. Otherwise, I don't know what caused the 38-minute delay. Reynor's got Overlord Speed finishing up. +1 missile attacks is about to finish up. We're going to get a Drop Lord. This is probably for the Queens. Technically, there is a world where maybe Nihed could hold this. But that world would include being ultra ready for this, in the right position, cannons, batteries, and flawless micro and macro. Does Nihed have any of that? I don't know. We could create a little bit of a German Autobahn here as well. Seems like the Overlords are just going to fly to the other side of the map and start dropping creep everywhere to give those roaches a little bit of extra movement speed and some more micro potential. There are 2 Immortals in the mix. The Oracles are going to help out to activate Pulsar Beam. Reynor's got an overwhelming amount of Zerg supply here though. And maybe not a flawless game from Reynor, but definitely good enough here. And this is exactly what I mentioned earlier, where the double robos in the natural, this is so awkward, because these units, they cannot ever really safely make it over towards the third, unless they really expose themselves. But if they really expose themselves, then Zerglings show up, Zerglings will get their wraparound, and that is going to be all 0 for game number 1. The Italian Stallion, Reynor, for BASILISK, takes the 1-0 lead over Nihed, who is a Hungarian Terran player, playing under the account of PSZ and playing as Protoss. To be fair, he might be a full-time Protoss now. Thank you for doing this. I love your content. I appreciate that, Blind Fox. Thanks to EWC for allowing some community casting. I really expected that to be seeding, but looking at Wikipedia, it seems a little bit all over the place. Well, I'll take a look at it. We're going to hop into game 2, and I'll alt-tab, and I'll take a proper look at the bracket. It is obviously a single elimination bracket. It is best of 3, best of 3, best of 5. The qualifying matches to get it into the closed qualifier, nobody is making it to EWC today, are always best of 5. Before that, it is best of 3. Yeah, because Dallas was such a rough weekend for the Europeans, these qualifiers are even more stacked than they already would have been. So let's take a look at it together. This is what I need. Alright, it is filled in. Basically, this entire part of the bracket. So let's say Serral is seed 1, right? And then maybe they went for Lambo or Elaser as a top 8 seed. They went for Spirit and Jeremy, but in this case, I assume it's Lambo as a top 8. So Serral's top 8 seed, Lambo's top 8 seed, Spirit is a top 8 seed, Gabe is a top 8 seed, Reynor is a top 8 seed. Here I'm not sure what they have done. It's either Mana or Cristiano as top 8. And this is Showtime. And here it's Skillless. So I think it's pretty obvious that there is seeding here. Obviously, I don't know exactly what they've done with anything past top 8, but you have to look at this as, hey, there are 8 spots available, so the top 8 is very important. And I think there is a pretty clear top 8 other than, I'd say, this little bracket. Maybe they gave seed 8 to Mana. Then let's say, like, Serral is 1, Reynor is 2, maybe Lambo is 3, Spirit is 4, let's say Showtime is 5, could be slightly different. Skillless is 6. Gabe is 7. I think all of that makes sense. And then only seed 8 would maybe be up for debate. And in this case, that would be Mana or Cristiano. I think they're both very good. But to be fair, the other 2 players in this little mini bracket are very good as well. GG Machine 6k and Iba 6k. So it's actually a very stacked little mini bracket too. So in my eyes, there's pretty obvious seeding. But of course, there will be some really good players that are close to each other in skill, because that's just the way it is in the European scene. I think anything between, let's say, rank 5 and rank 16 is going to be pretty damn close. There are a lot of good players in Europe. And that is what we are looking at.
Round 2, fight!
Top left side, the Hungarian Terran, now Protoss, and Nihed, playing on their PSD. Was never a Zerg player. Ian Blue tried to make it even more confusing than it already is. And in the bottom right side, if he wins this best of 3, there is a good chance he'll play a qualifying best of 5 against Young Yakov, who is without a doubt, in my eyes, one of the best 16 Europeans. And that is going to be a difficult one. This is BASILISK Reynor. What is the prize money for EWC? $700,000. 700k total. I think it's 200k for the winner this year. And you can click on Wikipedia main event and you see the breakdown. What we do know is that there are 2 players of this entire bracket, and maybe like somebody that signs up tomorrow, but I'm not expecting that. So we can safely say 2 players of this bracket that will qualify for the main event. And even if you lose every single game at the main event, you still get 17,500. Mana had a good run at the weekend, because he did beat Rogue, right? Mana's had a lot of good runs lately, to be honest. So yeah, if they gave Mana a top 8 seed in this qualifier, I don't even think that's the craziest thing out there. Mana may be old and he may be the manager, but he has played a crazy amount of good games lately in minor online events, but also in bigger online events, and recently DreamHack Dallas. I don't think that's a loud message, but I don't think it's just a server qualifier. I think it's a region locked qualifier. Because if it wouldn't be region locked, then all the Koreans would have tried Asia too, right? So these are locked qualifiers. Nihed is gonna try his luck here with 2 adepts and actually gets in range and kills a drone. Hey, you can put that on your resume. I opened up with 2 adepts against Rain. I walked in there, killed the drone, got out. That's better than I've done in a while. Is that a 3rd oracle? No, just the 2nd one. I feel like this is not the standard 3rd base to take, no? Don't you normally take this one? We have casually taken the low ground. What are we going to do then? Take this as our 4th and use it as a bit of a staging ground. And this spams blink stalkers. It's okay, mate. I'm just teasing you. I just thought it was funny, because this is already literally the most complicated thing that could be. A Hungarian who's playing under the name of his friend and off racing and letters under a different account. And then you sneak in. I think he's a Zerg as well. Just like, this is funny. What will Reynor do this time? Could be the same. What I like the most, Morinda, is what makes sense. So if it's minor events, I like best of 3s. If it's a grand final, I like best of 5. And if it's a grand final of a international event, I like a best of 7. Like a little run by, a tiny run by happening here in the natural. Stalkers don't have blink yet, so this is painful. Depths are slow. And it is Reynor who sneaks into that natural. Seems like we were building a robo there that got cancelled. Now we're gonna rebuild it. I don't know what exactly you gain out of that. Like, oh, I really don't want him to know that I am building a robo at minute 6. Whatever. I think the way they have gone about this qualifier, it makes a lot of sense. In the earlier rounds where there should be a lot of mismatching because top players are just a lot better than lower ranked players in this video game. Best of 3, and then when it comes to the final all-important series where you can make your way into the close qualifier, that being a best of 5 makes perfect sense. When the stakes are very high, I obviously don't like best of 1. When it comes to a weekly event, I do like a lower bracket best of 1, just to give everybody one more game to enjoy and look forward to, and maybe cause some upsets. That was my trip. It was very long and exhausting, but also fun. I've made a lot of memories. I've met a lot of cool people. I'd say I've learned a lot, both about fighting games and poker. But I'm happy to be back, at least for a little bit. And I'm already looking forward to the next one. Thank you, Sir Riggleson, for the 26 months. Yeah, what Allison said is correct. Like, otherwise, obviously, the Asia qualifier early today would have been flooded with Koreans, right? And honestly, would have probably had a couple of Europeans in it as well. Fuck it, we'll try our luck on Singapore. Even if you think there is a 1% chance, if you've got a 1% chance of making it into one of the biggest events in Starcraft 2 history, obviously last year was a little bit bigger, but this one is still incredibly large, maybe the 3rd biggest event we've ever had, or even 2nd, you're gonna try. And if Koreans and Europeans are not battling it out with the Chinese players on the Singaporean server, that's because then they're not allowed. Reynor sets up a triple Overlord drop with Zerglings. He's got 68 drones and he's gonna hit with a lot of roaches, +1, few ravages in the mix. Nihed, the Hungarian Protoss, once more is trying to stabilize on double robo. Has not gone Immortals this time. He's gone for Colossus. Unfortunately, Colossus really suck. The biggest problem here, guys, is just the sheer amount of roaches. Colossus are going to be great against that link drop, don't get me wrong, but it's not about that link drop. That link drop is almost like a distraction maneuver. What it's a lot more about are all these roaches and ravages. And 2 Colossus, they won't add much to your army. Stalkers can be good against this, but you need a stupid amount of Stalkers, and we don't really have a stupid amount of Stalkers. What we do have is a couple links in the natural, a few links have split up into the main, and they're mostly there just to keep the Protoss busy. As Reynor runs all over the 3rd base of Nihed. I don't want to say he's making it look easy, but it's pretty clean. It's pretty straightforward. It's solid defense into macro up, into a devastating attack. This one slightly different than the previous one, but the same in the grand scheme of things. Colossus are gonna get picked off. Reynor did misclick there for a split second on those unbuildable rocks. He thinks that we didn't see it, but I did see it. I just want to see. I see no problem with my results. I got the same as Hero. Technically, you lost 1 game less than Hero, so you could say you did better. Because if they would have played another game, it could have been all Nihed. GG's. Reynor will advance into the qualifying round. I'm not going to do !B because that spoils it for you. And his opponent is ready. And this is going to be a big series, guys. Reynor Young Yakov. This man is damn good. Also a strong 2-0 over Arcfire, by the way, who's a really talented young man too. Reynor Young Yakov in a big series. And it's a ZVZ. Have we been able to shake off those ZVZ walls that we endured against Solar? Or will they continue?